What do you want to be when you grow up? This is the classic question to ask in preschool. But now, I used to ask myself, did I grow up? As we grow older, we are excited to fulfill our dreams and see the future. In fact, some people rely on fortune tellers to know if they are going to meet Mr. Right or the girl of their dreams, or if they are going to be rich, win the lottery, or win some contest. Are we going to win this contest, Julius?
I'm not sure, but there's an app in mobile phones today which offers prediction from fortune tellers about your future. Some mobile apps allow you to send the image of your phone to determine your future. These applications are very cool.
But have you ever wondered if it's really possible to see the future? Life is not easy today, and even harder for those people who are less fortunate. Have you ever wondered if there will be enough food for us and for our children in the future? Feeding 1 billion mouths of hungry people in the world is a big problem nowadays. Air pollution brought by industrialization, the occurrence of strong typhoons, climate change due to buildup of greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere, melting of glaciers which causes rise in sea levels and flooding, magnifies our problems today. Having this not so good situation around the world, isn't it exciting to know if we are going to survive in the future? Will there be more rice, fruits, and vegetables in our plate in the future? Erie has the answers to these questions. Let's see the future with our new app. Welcome to the Erie High CO2 Facility.
This high-tech facility was built in 2009 and allows us to mimic the climate that plants will experience in the future. This facility houses 4 growth chambers. Inside this growth chamber, one can grow any plant that will fit inside. You can also set the temperature that you want, that is how hot or cold you want to set. You can also set the relative humidity inside, which is the amount of water in the air. This is also specially designed to grow plants under a certain level of carbon dioxide.
CO2 is the primary food of plant that helps them grow, right? Plants take up water and nutrients from the soil. CO2, on the other hand, enters the opening in the leaves called stomata. And then, with the help of sunlight, plants process CO2 and water to produce their own food. CO2 is the main food of plants, which they process through photosynthesis to build more leaves, tillers, and produce grain. They also produce oxygen in the air we breathe, which keeps us alive.
You're right. Plants are very important for our survival. So if we want to mimic the future, we simply set the chambers to the predicted temperature, relative humidity, and CO2 levels in the future. It has different components that allow a stable level of the different parameters you want to set. You can monitor the chamber's settings using this data logger, and aside from it, you can monitor the chamber's real time, even when you are not inside the greenhouse. It is coupled to a system that allows you to see changes in temperature, relative humidity, and carbon dioxide levels in your desktop.
Awesome! As a sample experiment, we grew rice inside these chambers. The present level of CO2 in the atmosphere is 390 ppm. 1 ppm is similar to 1 drop of water into 35 gallons of water. That's how small it is. It is predicted that due to continuous air pollution, smoking, use of aerosols or hairspray, which emits CO2, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will double by 2050. So we tried to grow rice in different levels of CO2, like 195, 390, 780, and 1560 ppm CO2. We took leaf samples into the laboratory so we can look inside the leaf of a plant and see if the number of veins in the leaf and the size of the cells will change due to high CO2. However, we found no significant changes in the leaf anatomy.
So the plants were not affected by high CO2?
Interestingly, we have observed that the high amount of CO2 results to higher photosynthetic rate, which is based on the amount of CO2 that the plants can process per unit leaf area. In addition, we have found that if you supply rice with increasing amounts of CO2, similar to what they will experience in the future, rice plant grew taller, produced more leaves, more tillers, and more grains. For instance, we can harvest around 12 tons, that is, 12,000 kilograms of rice per hectare when the plant is provided with 780 and 1560 ppm CO2 as compared to field plants which produced 4 to 6 tons per hectare only.
Wow! There will be more rice in the future. How about the quality of rice grains?
The quality of rice grains was improved. The amylose present in the grain, which hardens rice after cooking and makes them brittle when present in high amount, was reduced in high CO2. Reduction in brittleness is a good thing because the less brittle is the grain, the more whole grain can be produced after milling. In addition, chalkiness of rice grains was also significantly reduced at high CO2. Do you want to eat chalky rice?
No thanks. It does not taste good. It tastes like chalk. Like chalk, chalky rice is opaque white instead of being translucent. When rice is chalky, it can easily break during milling, which reduces the recovery of rice that farmers can sell and take home.
It's a good thing because rice will not be chalky in the future.
Therefore, rice will benefit for future increases in CO2. There will be more rice in our plate. But will there also be more vegetables in the future?
What is your favorite vegetable?
Eggplant or corn?
There are genetically modified corn and BT eggplant nowadays.
Genetically modified? What's that?
It means that they have special character added to their DNA. GM corn and BT eggplant or BT talong are worm-free crops now. They did this by enhancing the plant's DNA to protect the corn or eggplant from attack of the worms. They did this through different processes in the laboratory, and they call this process biotechnology.
Wow! Since BT corn and BT eggplant are special, will they behave the same way as rice? Can we also produce more corn and eggplant and other crops in the future?
Who knows? Do you
Do
know
you know
the
the
answer? I'm sure science can answer these mysteries.
Come and find out with our new app.
Let's study science. Be one of us.